The G. Howard Ferguson Award was started at Western in 1932 and is presented to a senior student in any faculty of the university who is considered to have attained the highest achievement during a university career encompassing athletics, scholarship, and college life. As of 2025, the award recognizes male student athletes for these qualities. The recipient of the 2026 G. Howard Ferguson Award is Aaron Thompson of the track and field team. A marquee sprinter for the Mustangs, Thompson is not only one of the fastest runners in the country, but he is also one of the most humble humans you will meet. A 3-time U Sports gold medalist and 11-time OUA medalist. When he isn't winning on the track, he can be found preparing for his professional future in the Doctor of Medicine program at the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry. He is a 3-time OUA Community Service Award winner and is the back-to-back winner of the U Sports Community Service Award. Thompson somehow manages one of the most time-consuming academic schedules with 30-plus hours of training a week, and also finds time to inspire and help others through his community involvement as a Mustangs mental wellness lead, London Western Track, and Field Club junior development coach and med school interview prep mentor. His coaches say, Aaron is everything we hope our Western Mustangs to be. Hardworking, resilient, humble, and generous. He is truly a world-class human being. The recipient of the 2026 G. Howard Ferguson Award, Aaron Thompson.
Joined now by our G. Howard Ferguson Award winner, Aaron Thompson. Just right off the top, Aaron, how does that still sound? I know it's been a few weeks since the award show, but it's still got to feel pretty good to hear that that title to go along with it.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's super exciting. Obviously, an award that's been around for a very, very long time, and one that I think is obviously very prestigious. And yeah, super honored, super lucky to have that alongside my name now, which is pretty cool.
Now that just goes right along with, I would say, a very large portion of your nomination package talked about the number of things you do, but more so referencing the humbleness that you have with almost everything. This is just part of your personality, though. How many times I've seen either people making comments to you or asking questions, and they're just saying how humble you are, how busy your schedule is. You're always kind of just not deflecting, but you're just kind of, this is just what I do kind of thing. Does that just come naturally, or do you just, is this just very much you're used to having a crazy schedule and you're just happy to help out as much as you can?
Yeah. I would say, for the past few years, especially past 3 years being in med school, it's just a brutal schedule. And then knowing me, I just like to add all these other things on over top as well: track, research, volunteering, all that. I'd rather have no free time than too much free time. I get bored very easily. And, having the opportunity to help other people and answer questions, it's just something that I'm lucky to be able to do, right? To have that experience and be able to pass on some, mentorship and that kind of thing. It's a blessing to me, and I'm very lucky to be able to do that. So I'm happy to continue to do that in whatever way I can. I get more out of it than other people.
One of the unique, would say the unique, but you have like 700 unique parts about your personality and what you do, is the fact of when you really started on this track and field journey. Some people are starting it super early. Some people started at different stages. You've utilized the latter half of the educational path to not only get involved even more and more, but you're not just involved in the track and field team, and you're setting records, you're winning national medals and so on and so forth. Take us through the shortened version of how this kind of became this athletic path when you're already in a very crazy, as you say, academic path at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like I probably started my athletic career after most people are retired from university sports. I was really into sports in high school, played football, rugby, and swimming. Actually never competed in track. Wasn't really on my radar. During undergrad, I was very focused on the whole pre-med thing. I thought, I need to focus more on my grades and that kind of thing, which, in hindsight, I regret. I should have been more involved in sports or everyday life type thing. So I didn't really do any sports apart from just recreational swimming. I'd go swim laps in between classes, that kind of thing. And then when I got to my master's degree at UW, had a bunch of free time. And by a bunch, I mean like a couple extra hours a day, which, like I said earlier, I got bored by that. I needed something to do. And I was like, hey, I'll try out for a varsity sport. And I played rugby in high school and I loved it, but I've had a couple too many concussions. So I figured I wouldn't do that, but I knew I had some good speed. So I was a walk onto the Waterloo track team. Um, did that for that season, went pretty well. It was fine, wasn't making podiums or anything like that, but had a really positive experience with that team and with those coaches who invested a lot of time into me, and started to see some good progress that summer before I came to Western. And then Coach Taylor, he kind of pulled me aside at nationals and was like, hey, we really think you should consider training with us for a year, just see what happens. I know you're going to be busy in med school. And I thought, okay, sure, why not? Nothing really to lose. I may as well give it an effort. Otherwise, I think I'd regret it, right? And that season, it was a pretty exciting and not to pump my own tires, but a pretty historic season for myself and for the team in general. And that one season at Waterloo ended up being 2, 3, 4. And yeah, just finished my 4th season and my 3rd season as a med student, and I'm 27 now, so I'm a lot older than a lot of the other younger athletes, but I still feel like every day I have something new to learn, and I can't really call myself a rookie or a newcomer to the sport anymore, but still feel like I'm still just hitting my stride and learning more at this point, which is cool.
We don't say older athlete, we say veteran leadership, right? That's the go-to.
I'll take that. That's a better label. Makes me feel less old.
The other thing, obviously, to your, as you mentioned, the med school, there's the fact of us even trying to organize this interview. Even before we started recording, you were saying, oh, it was just a 20+ hour, shift. And this is how it works and to anybody else who would say, anything over like a 10 or 12-hour shift, some people are kind of saying, that was a crazy day. These are just regular days for you, sort of thing. How hard is it to manage the schedule, or as you say, you just like it being as packed as possible?
Yeah, I do like it being packed, but when you're 18 hours into a 28, 29-hour shift, then I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be saying some other words that probably shouldn't be on camera. But yeah, it's just kind of something that has become a part of me is time management and scheduling, right? And as an athlete, we have to learn to be flexible already. It's tough when you're, working out with a team and you have a set time when you're supposed to be training, but mostly I'm still at the hospital during those times, or doing other things, or sleeping if I've been up all night. So it has been a lot of training independently, working with my coaches who have been unbelievable and incredibly accommodating in terms of meeting me at different times or getting me alternative training schedules. They've just been really, really incredible to work with, and that is probably the biggest contributing factor to why I was even able to compete this year with my schedule just being nuts, is that they were willing to work with me, and I'm very, very thankful to them for that.
The last couple of years, obviously, from a team perspective, it has gone extremely well. For a individual perspective, it's gone pretty well. And I know when we talked even last year, and I've referenced this a few times talking to some of the folks from either the cross country or the track and field team, I've got the pleasure of kind of being a little bit more around the team a little bit the last couple of years. But the joy on your face, especially this year's one thing, but I want to say last year, because you talked so much, and not you specifically, but it was just mentioned so much about the year before and how things essentially went from the toughest scenario with I believe it was a broken leg during the weekend in competition, to standing on a podium with a gold medal at a national championship the next year. Could that literally, that's movie type stuff sort of thing? And I could just see it for you, how many times people would come up and say congratulations and so on and so forth. And you would just kind of say, this is the craziest ride to go from, the from an athletic perspective, maybe the lowest of lows to literally the highest of highs. How wild was that entire year-long process kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like if you wrote that into a movie script, people would say it's too unbelievable, right? Yeah, and in 2024, it would have been in Manitoba. I literally broke my leg. I broke my fibula, my left leg during the 300 meter, the prelims, and still ended up running the finals. I limped across the finish line, got 1 point for the team, and then had to take a few months off recovering. I was in a boot. It was super challenging. Almost walked away from the sport altogether, but between talking with Taylor, we kind of realized like, no, I'm not quite ready to give up yet. It was just one down point in my career, that's not going to hold me back the year after. And then came back the year after and things were going well. Training was going well, even though I was busy and stressed with school and that kind of thing. We still put in the work and, yeah. And I won nationals in the same race almost exactly a year after I broke my leg. I ended up winning. And that was just pretty incredible and very emotional, and a testament to the work that Taylor and Caro and Vicky have put in, all my coaches and the physio staff and the staff at Fowler Kennedy who helped me get back from my leg, and very much went to prove that it was a team effort. And yeah, really exciting. And that's something that I won't ever forget. And having the opportunity to be on the podium alongside Josh, one of my best friends, fellow med student, and also contribute to the team winning the national title. That is, what a privilege it was to be a part of that.
I was going to ask if there was a little bit of the friendliest of friendly rivalries between you and Josh, sort of thing. That year, especially that, not just your story from one year to the next, but then there was the element of you get to OUs and Josh gets you in the OUs, then you get Josh at U Sports. I'm sure you still remind him of that periodically. But that was just the storybook element of that year, on top of Vicky retiring, double banner, all that kind of thing too. So, but then shifting to this year sort of thing, there was the national championship element. There was a lot of drama near the end of the national championship. And you guys end up, all of a sudden a loud crowd is cheering off to my left-hand side. And I said, I think I might know what this means now. Your relay squad was part of the waiting to see who gets what and everything. How wild was this year coming off the year before?
Yeah, pretty crazy. And I'm pulling up my phone right now because I texted Emmanuel Onyema, who won U Sports for Western in the 60-meter last year. And I texted him the first night of U Sports, saying, no clue how the team is ranked first right now. I don't think it's impossible for us to win U Sports, but I think miracles happen. And he replied saying, anything's possible. And then the day after we won, and there was all the drama around the 4x2, and we ended up winning the national championship. And I just replied to him that day saying, I'm truly speechless. And he said, I can't believe it. I'm so happy for you guys. And it's true. I was so speechless. It was so unexpected that we actually would win. I think all of the guys on the men's team, we were just hoping to be on the podium, right? If we were continuously ranked, I think, 4th throughout the season. And we were all like, okay, we're just fighting for that 3rd place spot. If we can get on the podium, we'll be happy with that season, especially it being Caro's first season as head coach. But to actually come back and win, that, it just makes that storybook ending even more crazy, right? And to be a part of that and back to back, I don't think any Western track team has gone back to back. It's incredible and super neat to be part of that. And obviously a lot of that credit will go to Caro as her first season as head coach. It's pretty phenomenal.
And we know that Caro will not want us to make reference to the fact that she is the men's coach of the year in her first year, sort of thing. So
yep.
we will make that reference just because she will not make it for her.
She won't.
But that was definitely an exciting moment too. So, and then flip forward one step further, we get to awards night for the Howard Ferguson Award. This is different from some of the other awards, say Athlete of the Year and Purple Blankets and stuff, where usually the coach is doing the nomination. Student athletes have to submit their own nomination. So it's a little bit of a different element because not only do you have to submit a nomination, there's a couple reference letters. There's some work behind here, which clearly you're used to doing way too much extra work. So I'm sure it was just a part of the day. But when you get to awards night, it's not a here's the three finalists. It's just here's the winner sort of thing. What was your emotions like coming into the day, and what was the excitement of when you said I'm sure due to the loudness of the room, sometimes you may not have heard the entire thing. All of a sudden, you just see you on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, we submit an application, right? And it was Carol who suggested that I submit an application, and she wrote just an incredible and emotional letter of recommendation for me. And so, you submit that application, you submit all the extra paperwork as well. And, you try to keep your expectations low, but in the back of your mind, there's still a bit of stress running up towards that day because, like I was saying before, this is a really meaningful award. It's one of the, in my opinion, not to be biased because I won it, it's probably one of the most prestigious awards you can get at Western. And I was nervous going in because, you want to win, but you also don't want to you don't want to assume you're going to win no matter what your resume might look like, right? So I was cautiously optimistic, I think would be the right word. And then when you see your name, it's just, I guess a flood of relief, but pretty exciting. And then you got to make that long walk down from the stands up to the stage. But yeah, really, really meaningful, and a memory that I won't soon forget, even though you kind of black out a little bit and forget about what's going on. But super
does
cool.
Does it make it a little bit more special because an award winner that happened to come just before you?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Really, really exciting that Hallie won, and obviously I felt that she was going to win. She didn't feel that she was going to win. It was probably the same if the roles were reversed, right? She probably thought I was going to win, and I wasn't so sure. But it would have been pretty awkward if one of us won and the other didn't. So thankfully, we avoided that awkwardness by both just winning. And having the chance to share that memory with her was extremely special. And one day in our house, we'll just have to have a bit of a bigger trophy cabinet because of that.
There's nothing wrong with a bigger trophy cabinet when you're winning.
No, that's a great problem to have.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, with the Howard Ferguson Award, not only, it is literally the athletic excellence, the community involvement, very big element of the academic side as well, sort of thing. For those outside of the kind of Canadian university realm, we kind of similarly kind of a Rhodes Scholar kind of mentality where it's like, your academic excellence. And for you, I believe it's 3 OUA Community Service Awards, back-to-back winner of the national awards, stuff like that. You're really going to have to get a pretty big trophy case at some point. Oh, on top of that, all the medical stuff that goes along with it, and all those aspects sort of thing too. But you being you would probably just be bashful and be like, yeah, we had some good experiences and some good times.
Yeah, I keep all my medals and plaques in a shoebox in my closet. I'm not big on the display kind of thing, but my mom was telling me I need to start displaying them because they are, little mementos and testaments to how hard I have worked over the past few years. And, I do agree with the fact that I should probably start displaying them.
For you, I know even you kind of talked about it a little bit ago, sort of thing. You weren't sure what this year was going to look like based on the requirements and the scheduling and so on and so forth. What's the future element, or are you just doing the usual errand thing where the schedule is crazy and you're just going to keep going and wait to see?
Yep, that's pretty much it. Me and Taylor, we agreed a couple of years ago that after every season, indoor and outdoor, we would just go in with no expectations, see what happens, and then we will reevaluate at the end of the season. And that's what we did this year. We said, okay, we'll treat it as if it's my final year. We'll go into it with just a couple of goals, but just mainly the goal to have fun and see what we can do. And so I met with him a couple weeks ago, and I still have another year of eligibility and another year of school. And we basically decided, like, screw it, may as well use it, right? I think I would regret it if I didn't at least try. And third year is known to be the most challenging year of med school. And we figured, and after speaking with mentors in the medical field as well, if I can make it work this year, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to make it work next year. And I learned a lot this year, and I had an overwhelming amount of support from Schulich Medicine as well. And I think I can make it work, and I will try to make it work. And there's a lot of opportunities for mentorship and leadership that I think I can still act on, with some really positive younger athletes coming onto the team. And I hope I can continue to make an impact in their life and also in the track team's life next year as well. And next year's a big one for me because I'll be getting ready to graduate, getting ready to apply for residencies, which are very competitive. And it's a very stressful time in my life. And I love having track as an outlet. And I think that if I didn't have it, I would continue to go crazy and wouldn't be able to manage that stress in ways that I want. Plus, I truly believe that the skills that I've learned as a student athlete will be translatable into being a resident and even applying and putting some of my accomplishments on those residency applications. So stressful, but like I said, I get more out of it than I put in.
I'm glad I asked because I was in the back of my mind, just being me, the storyteller that I am. I'm going, I wonder if I can ask him about it and see if he'll actually tell me what the plan is, sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I
some
think
some
the
athletes will
secret's
keep,
out now.
some will keep it a closely guarded element. I figured why not? Just ask.
Fair enough.
So yeah. Thank you for this. This has like been 15, 20 minutes of probably time that you only have like 5 for. So appreciate you doing this, and congratulations again on the award. Well deserved, and just a very big portion of the trophy case, but another aspect to add to the trophy case.
Yeah, thanks so much for chatting, Ryan. I always look forward to talking with you. I appreciate you taking the time as well. It means a lot to me.